Hey all, welcome to the channel. My name is Mr. Sport, and today we're going to be building a wizard tower. So, without further ado, let's get to the build. So first, I like to start off by terraforming the landscape. Next, I like to kind of mark an area where I'm going to build. So right here I'm placing down some cobblestone and just getting a good idea of where I want to build the base of the tower. I may or may not use it, but it's just a good starting point. It took me a couple tries, but I finally figured out the size of the tower that I wanted to build. 4 blocks on the sides and 3 diagonally. Now, when constructing this tower, I decided to go up 5 blocks. I figured that was a good point as to where I could get a decent base that would support the size of this structure. Now, it doesn't look like 5, but I actually built up 7. But later in the video, you'll see that I come back to it and I readjust the size of the base just because I felt it was off by a little bit. I built 1 block in and built up 17 blocks high. So typically when I'm building towers, I like to figure out how far out I'm going to go and how high up. It just gives me a good reference point. So once I figured out how high the shaft was going to be, I started building up. I chose to build out 2 blocks to give just a little bit more dimension to the tower and space so you could see it. So next I built up 5 blocks. The big keys for me when I'm building anything is contrast and dimension. Moving within that 3D space really helps give a building character no matter what it is. So once I finished the tower, just the main skeleton of it, I looked back and I decided it looked a little bit blocky. So going with my dimensional rule, I added a layer of blocks underneath to just kind of round out the top. So like I said before, I decided to come back and add another 2 blocks onto the shaft of the tower. I thought it was just a little bit unproportional, so I came back, deleted at least 2 layers of blocks, and added the remaining space onto the tower shaft. Much better, but I felt like something was missing. So instead of just going with stone brick throughout the entire tower, I wanted to add a little bit of color and contrast to it. So I added some cobblestone for the base. Moving on to the roof, I decided to place magic wood planks. Now these blocks are only attainable in the Biomes O'plenty mod, which I will have linked in the description. Put down 1 layer of wood blocks, and then extended that out 1 extra layer, just to give the roof a little bit of an overhang over the tower. So once I built 2 layers of single blocks, I decided to extend the roof up to kind of give it that upside down cone shape. I extended up 2 blocks and repeated that pattern until I reached the very top. Now, I didn't think it was quite round enough, So I wanted to go back and just kind of smooth off those edges and give it a nice, smooth, round look. Just kind of edge off the blocks on the side and do this layer by layer until I get down to the bottom. Afterwards, I went back and added 2 stair pieces on top of the tower, and then extended out the roof edges by 1 block. I felt like it just didn't have a drastic enough cone shape to it. So next, moving on to the actual detailing of the outside of the tower. So I decided to give a little bit of an overhang for the windows. Off camera, I added some stairs underneath the roof, but I didn't like them, as you see, and I went back and deleted them. I picked 4 cobblestone stairs and some fence pieces. I believe they were dark oak. And I repeated this pattern on every single window. So next I decided to shift my focus onto the tower base. As with everything in Minecraft, it was a little boxy, so I decided to round out the edges and give it kind of an upside down V pattern. Next, I added some stone walls, but I didn't really like how they looked initially, so I repeated that upside down V pattern to kind of draw your eye from the base of the tower all the way up to the top. After finishing up the base, I decided to build a balcony. So at first I repeated the pattern I had on the tower roof, just to add a little bit of continuity with the build. So next I decided to build the entrance. This was a tough task because I didn't know exactly how I wanted it to look, but I wanted something that continued that continuity of stone, brick, and cobblestone, along with the dark oak and spruce. with our tower complete, let's step inside to carve out a place for our wizard to call home. For the entrance chamber, I decided to lay down cracked stone bricks. This would give it that weathered feel, but also stick with the stone brick theme of the entire tower. Next, you can see me creating a little space for a fireplace. I decided to go with just regular stone. Now for the actual fireplace, I picked stone walls and made kind of a table-looking shape and then extended that to the wall. So looking back at the cracked stone, I just felt like it was a little bit too much, so I added in just regular stone bricks to even it out. Next, I decided to build a spiral staircase to get to the top of the tower. I chose dark oak logs as our base, and then for the stairs, I used spruce slabs and spruce stairs. For much of the interiors, I decided to go with dark oak wood and spruce, and then repeat that pattern on the third floor. And there you have it, a completed wizard tower. Of course, this is my first build tutorial, so please feel free to leave any constructive criticism in the comments. And if you felt like it was helpful or entertaining, please consider leaving a like, as it really does help out. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you stick around. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one. Mr. Sport out.